Super tactical, what would be a practical recommendation to those listening that who are learning about this for the first time, or what's a step for them to take that you would suggest?
Yeah, so usually the things that I preach the most about from a generalized standpoint is going to be sleep, nutrition, hydration, and exercise. Sometimes I throw in like social connections or meditation, mindfulness, which I think is important, but I think the four basic pillars really need to be sleep, nutrition, hydration, and exercise. So on the sleep front, most people should be waking up 5 days out of the week refreshed. Most people wake up 1 to 2 days out of the week refreshed, and that's usually a Saturday, Sunday, because they don't have to set an alarm and they can go and actually sleep for an extended period of time. And a lot of my patients, when they first start working with me, they don't wake refreshed any days of the week. Every day of the week is a struggle to get out of bed.
Yeah.
And so, because sleep is so important to our body's ability to heal itself, because that's when we do most of our healing, is while we sleep. It's a huge emphasis and focus for people. So to get better sleep, usually what I tell patients, the biggest needle movers that I call them is going to be light exposure. And so we are exposed to way too much light after sunset, and that is triggering our brain and telling our brain that it's time to be awake. When in reality, we need to signal the body that, hey, it is time to start sleeping. And so usually after sunset, what I tell people is to turn off at least half the lights in your home. And if you can turn off more, turn off more. That's number one, because that's just going to reduce the amount of light that's hitting your eyes, which is going to reduce that signal to produce cortisol and produce more melatonin. And then the other is to use blue light blocking technology. That's going to be on your phone, on your computer, and also in the form of glasses. So on Amazon, you can get blue light blocking glasses for 20, 30 bucks. And all my patients who have issues with sleeping, we get them to wear them as soon as the sun goes down. And most patients will notice, so like right now in Arizona, the sun's setting around 7:30. If I put those on at 7:30, by 8:30, I'm like, I am ready for bed. Like, it's not even a question of like, okay, I'm going to choose to go to bed at 8:30. It's like, I am now tired because my brain's actually getting the signal that it's nighttime. And so we then get to, have better sleep, but it's not a forced sleep. It's oh, I'm actually tired. So now I'm going to go to bed a little bit earlier than tossing and turning until 10, 11 o'clock, for example. So that's the sleep side. Hydration is super simple. It's whatever your body weight is, divide that in half, and that's how many ounces of water someone should be drinking minimum on a daily basis. And so, I weigh 180 pounds, and so every day my goal is to get 90 ounces of water per day. Now, climate is going to adjust that a little bit, right? So here in Arizona, where it's drier and it's hotter, usually I'm going to add probably anywhere between 15 to 20 ounces onto my water. So I'm usually shooting for 100 to 110 ounces. And that's if I'm not working out, because obviously if I go work out, I'm going to sweat more. And so we need to be repleting that as well. And usually I think we're doing half a liter per hour or 250 to 500 depending mLs per hour of exercise. And so when most people, you talk to them, they're maybe getting 30 to 50 ounces of water per day. And, most people are at least 200 pounds, right, for guys. And so most people are just not getting enough water into their system. And now the kidneys are decently good at trying to adjust for that and reducing urine output, but it's long-term strategy. That's not the approach that we want to take, because you can still be subclinically dehydrated. Your cells can be dehydrated, your fascia can be dehydrated, your joints can be slightly dehydrated, and all that can contribute to the perception of pain. And so focusing on water. On the nutrition front, everybody has a diet that they're going to respond best to. I personally respond really well to a paleo-like diet where it's super high protein and meat content and really low starch content, and I do well. I feel phenomenal when I eat like that. I have patients where they feel god awful when they eat like that, right? And they need more of a vegetarian type of diet. And so, but the one consistent thing I found is that we need to eat what nature gave us. And it's removing the stuff that is literally made in a factory, right? Where they're taking chemicals and they are adding things together and blending things together to make Pop-Tarts or to make Doritos chips. Like those, there's no Doritos farm that you can go pick a bag of Doritos, right? But there's, so it's just getting back to not eating crap food, processed food, and eating things that nature and the earth is giving us.
Right.
And then figuring out what flavor of that you want to be, right? Whether you want to go carnivore, whether you want to go vegan, whether you want to go paleo, whether you want to go whatever else there is, pagan. Like there's so many varieties and flavors, and everyone's got to figure that out. But it's just getting back to just eating real, actual food that contains nutrients, not this nutrient depleted stuff that we're getting out of factories. And then last is the movement, right? Is exercise. So most of the time, I would love if all of my patients and everybody, got in and did some form of, more intense exercise a few days a week, kind of got 30, 45 minutes of whether it's HIIT or it's some longer distance stuff or it's some strength training. But at the end of the day, I just want people to do more, right? So if you're not exercising, just going for a 10-minute walk every single day is going to do way more than doing nothing, right? If you're already walking 6-7 days a week for 30 minutes, changing out one of those walks for some strength training to build some muscle mass, right? Strength training and so our muscles are literally anti-inflammatory machines. When we exercise, our muscles produce what are called myokines, which is basically little signaling molecules that come from the muscle, and those are very anti-inflammatory to our body. And so when we exercise, we are literally, at the end of the day, helping to reduce overall systemic inflammation. Now, sometimes that's difficult because people might have chronic pain that stops them from doing certain exercises and things like that. And so that's where a lot of things need to be individualized, and what I will work with patients on, or I'll refer them to a really great strength coach that I have out here in Arizona, and he'll work with them on that. But at the end of the day, we need to get muscles moving more and get them activated and people to get stronger. And yeah, adding on a few pounds of muscle mass is probably going to be a very beneficial thing for most people.